Today I'm talking about dynamics, the ballistic movement in this golf swing that brings it alive, makes that golf ball fizz off the club face and hopefully makes you feel just that little bit more powerful on that cold winter morning. We've all thought about the golf swing for many a year in positions. P1, P2, P3, crap. Dynamics are essential, and the more we learn about this golf swing, the more we tend to get caught up in the static positions of where the golf club is placed during the moment. And of course we've seen that prevalence come from the swing sequences of the 1980s and 1990s, and most notably someone like Nick Faldo, who we all admired so much for the golf swing. Very little is spoken about the dynamics of the swing, how we bring it all alive. A lot of my information on my channel is about how we're moving the head weight and the light end in unison. Now, if you appreciate that we've got the head weight and the light end in a golf swing, there is significant differences in feels. I often, when someone comes onto my lesson tee, I see them move the golf club away, and so often the cadence, the speed at which they draw the golf club back can be so fast. Now, if you were to take a golf club in your hand and move the handle around, can you see how I can move the handle and I can keep the club head in the same spot? That is just highlighting how much extra activity the handle has over the head. If I then try to move the head and the handle at the same rate, look at how slowly I would have to move the handle to get the head moving. Of course, I could make the head move quickly by gripping the club tight and moving the head at the same time, but you'll appreciate that that then makes the grip pressure hugely overwhelming. Why I always suggest that if you ever try and work on grip pressure, you're wasting your time. If you're someone that really moves the ball down the right wing and has a nasty slice in your bag, you are going to tend to want to live on the side of tight grip pressure to encourage that club face to unload and to try and square it up. A great example of that is that drill where I'm moving the handle around and I now want the head to move at the same rate. There's your tight grip pressure, which is why the grip is so crucial when putting the face in the right orientation. So that gives you a bit of an insight into the dynamics that we need to encourage with a handle over the head. And so I've got a couple of thoughts here for your takeaway, for your backswing, to fire up some better dynamics in your downswing. The first one really is when you place the golf club behind the golf ball, I want you to move the handle and leave the head on the floor. And then when you move the handle away, I want you to then make the speed of the handle and the head move at the same rate. And when you're doing this, I want you to keep the grip pressure as light as possible. Keep it as light as possible and try to get both of the head and the handle to move at the same rate. In the same way as when I had the club handle and head up in front of me, I tried to move the handle and the head at the same rate. What this will allow you to do is to really start to understand how much energy you can apply in the handle and how much your grip pressure will have to harmonize with that energy you put in the handle at the takeaway to make it all tie up. And so when you then start to feel how light your grip can be and how slow you have to initially start the golf swing away at, all of a sudden that first motion really becomes very different in a sensation of not only tying up the handle and the head, but what starts to happen around your shoulders and what starts to happen around your neck. The energy that runs up through your forearms and into your shoulders and into your neck will really compromise the top half of your spine. And if you lock the top half of your spine up, you're really going to start to have some issues in moving around the golf ball. So that's our first drill. As I say, handle, move it around, keep the grip as light as possible. This is the sensation that we're looking for, not this movement away from the golf ball that's very hurried. Get yourself down to the golf ball. Again, I've had some videos where I've talked about lifting the club head up off the floor. The gap, I call it. Check out that video up there. When you lift the club head up off the floor, again, you then start to really feel the pressure in the butt of that grip. Move that handle first, leave the club head behind, and then move the handle and the head at the same time, and you'll really start to feel those differences. The second point in the golf swing is in the change of direction. If you've got the golf swing moving away quickly to start with, your ability to slow the head weight down for it to change direction effectively and move it into the golf ball is going to be compromised. We've got a break phase in our muscles. If you were to throw a golf ball, the point where the energy is overwhelming your musculature, as you get to the end of range, you have a break phase that starts to slow your arm down to stop you from pulling your shoulder out of its joint. The same thing is going to occur in the backswing. When you've got a head weight going back so quickly, the faster it goes back, the more the hands will try to stop this club head from running past you, and your right hand will start to push the club head out to stop the club from cracking on your right shoulder here. What that unfortunately does is in the backswing, it then starts to create a rebound where the club head wants to push away. And so when you think of lag and load in a downswing and the greats of the game, people like Sergio Garcia, that have a really nice load angle on the way down that creates that fantastic energy down at the golf ball. The part of that loading sequence is the fact that the golf club in transition becomes so soft and supple in the same way as if I was to move the handle and the head back together. You can see how organized that looks. I move the handle and the head back together and then I pull the golf club down. Move it back nice and organized, pull the golf club down. That pulling of the handle and that head swinging up is the equivalent to taking the golf club back slowly, pulling the golf club, and then creating that lag and load in the downswing that creates that extra energy down at strike that creates more swing, more load, more swing, which will encourage a ball to go more to the right, which is why it's so crucial that when you are encouraging better dynamics, because we're encouraging the club to really go out on its own down strike, we really need to make sure that the grip is in a good situation so that the face can line itself back up. The positioning of the grip is crucial to allow that lag and load to hit down and make that face return back straight. So if I may get the broom back out, when we swing the broom, if you haven't seen it, I've done a whole playlist on this beautiful piece of golfing technology up in the top right hand corner of your screen. Of course, we've now got a huge differential between the light end and the heavy end. And now moving that handle away at the same rate as the head becomes incredibly tricky. So what I want us to do is really feel how much I can move the handle and the head away and keep that harmony in the backswing, to then feel like I can pull the handle faster on the way down that starts to allow the golf club to lag and load. And you can really see when I pull on this golf club how that club, the Broom, whacks me on the shoulder, that loads the golf club. I'm not thinking about positions. I'm not thinking about P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nonsense. Just thinking about how I'm moving the light end in relation to the heavy end to create some lag and load in the downswing, which is all it is just dynamics, by moving a light end faster than a heavy end. A light end faster than a heavy end. And at that point, if you are moving the handle faster, you better make sure that your leg action is fired up. If your leg action is not fired up, it will not be able to keep up with the speed at which you move your handle and the speed at which you're pushing and posting your leg action, which effectively moves you around the golf ball. So with those thoughts in mind, how you move the golf club away, how much you're able to keep the grip light and move the head and the handle at the same rate, keep that relationship in your backswing as you go, to then feel like you can...
If you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed.
Encourage some decent dynamics on the way down that might just get the ball where you want it to go. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully that's been insightful. If you did enjoy that, do consider subscribing while you're here. And that, my friends, is good coaching.